All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are live. Thank you very much for tuning in this week to the weekly BrYangle Report. My name is Brian Weiss, and this is Henry's Newmarket. We're broadcasting from today, as always. Just want to say thank you to everybody who takes the time to spend a half an hour with us every Wednesday. This week's show is going to be on music. Really, I mean, you wouldn't think music would be a big thing when it comes to photography. But if you think about it, a lot of us have this internal kind of music rhythm that we all go by. And I've found that music has helped me with my photography in a lot of ways. And that's what we're going to get into. For me, before every shoot, there's a moment that sets a tone. For some people, it's coffee. For me, it's music. It's listening to some songs. It's getting myself prepped mentally for what I'm about to do. It's kind of serendipitous, actually, because literally right now, I've got a really nice car audio system being installed in my car. I'm not going to get into details, but I'm excited about it. Let's just say that. So for today and tomorrow, that's all being done. And it kind of inspired me with music to get into like how it makes me feel and how it helps my photography and so on. So I want you all to think about this as I'm talking. If you have anything that you'd like to bring up, any stories of your own, songs that have inspired you or things that you kind of associate to songs and music or photography, post it in the chat. Let me know what you're thinking. That's the beauty of a live show like this, is we can chat live. We can hear what you have to say. Drew Karsh is watching. Hey to you, sir. And just like anybody who has anything to say to us, just pipe it in here. I'll see it right away. Brian's here in studio today. Good to see you, sir. Joseph Gray. Oh, Ron Gray's watching. Hello again to you, Ron. All right, let's get to this conversation. I'm going to ask you all a question. How does music influence the way you shoot? Brian, do you ever listen to music when you shoot?
No.
No, you're not a music rolling it into that thing kind of thing? You just do your own thing in the quiet?
I find it distracting.
It could be distracting. That's a really good point too. A lot of people just find you need to focus. Where me, I am distracted by everything. So I have to use music to rein me in, right? But it's different for everybody. Do you use a playlist when you edit or shoot or do something? I'm going to break down today's conversation into 3 segments, the before, the during, and then the edit, how music can be influenced or used in any of those periods. But on today's show, I'm going to go over some real stories from my own work, how Tool and Weather Report and Sting and all these different things have influenced me over the years, and give you some practical tips on using music as gear, which is a weird thing to think about. All right. Yeah, it's funny, or even earlier, hi Joseph, earlier today when I was preparing for the show here, on the radio here at the store, the Hall & Oates song, Kiss on My List, came on. And I didn't even realize what was happening, but with the song going on and with my brain kind of all over the place with notes and stuff like that, all of a sudden I was like really clearly making solid notes, and I was going through and I was, putting the things that I really needed to in very easily, and it was noticed because it was all the music playing. It got me kind of into rhythm, and it really helped me out a lot. So, I added that to my notes, and I thought that was really interesting. I thought I'd bring that up with you now. But first, before I go any further, as always, I've got a quick did you know for everybody, and that did you know is, did you realize that music and visual perception are all, neurologically linked? So the way we think and what we're hearing are linked in a way that if you use it the right way, music can alter a lot of things. Music can alter your heart rate. I've experienced this myself. I test my blood pressure every morning, and when I'm listening to music or not listening to music, there's a huge fluctuation in even my heart rate. It affects my emotional state and how I'm thinking and how I'm feeling. Color grading and framing choices are all influenced by what music is playing in the background for me. It affects your decision making. If you're listening to fast music, you end up with potentially snappier shooting. If you're listening to slow music, maybe you're a little bit more deliberate with your shooting, or your composition or things like that. You're taking a little more time because that music has got you in a nice, calm state. Choosing the right music when you shoot can really help you create a mood of engagement, a mood of accomplishment, and help you really, get through the harder times if you're doing something that you may not like. Of course, when you're editing, that's a whole different story. And I'm going to bring Juan in a little bit to talk about that. But some quick examples for you first. Quick examples. I was just looking at the chat here. Debbie, hello to you. And Michael Drukar says music is the background of his life. And I'm the same way. There's always music playing in my world. I've got tinnitus, and if I don't have any music playing, all I hear is ringing sometimes, and that just gets me. So I always have to have some sort of music playing with whatever I do. So yeah, quick examples. A fast tempo song. I'm going to use the example of my world. The band Tool has a song called Tempest, and well, Seven Tempest, however you want to say it. I find that encourages a rapid fire, bold, high energy shooting environment. So if I have headphones on and I'm listening to music when I'm shooting, my energy level is up, and I'm pushing a little bit more with what I shoot. If I'm listening to jazz, maybe I'm listening to Weather Report, or I'm listening to Miles Davis or something like that, I find I'm creating a more contemplative mood. You know, I'm thinking a little bit more. I'm a little bit calmer in myself, and I'm thinking more. It's more for like landscape photography or street shooting at dusk, or even portraits with atmosphere. If I'm really in a zone and I want to chill, I'll put on something like that, Emancipator, or something like Enigma, or something where it's nice and calming. On the other hand, if I'm listening to pop music, upbeat, loosens the subjects up. If I'm doing a portrait shoot, it can boost the energy in the room quite a bit. And obviously, when you're shooting portraits with people, energy is really important. So try matching your shooting mode with your music, with your playlist, and see if that creates a different type of photo for you. It could be a lot of fun. High-speed burst while listening to heavy rock versus single shot for deliberate framing or taking a little bit more time with your shooting. Oh, Anne's watching from New England. Hello from New England. I think Anne today is in Massachusetts. I don't think she's in Vermont today. I think she's in Massachusetts. I don't really know. I don't have your schedule, Anne, but I hope you're having a good time over there. For those of you who don't know, I was actually living in New England quite a bit. I lived in Massachusetts, Connecticut, and I did all my high school years in Vermont. I love Vermont, although you'll never get me going back to the States again. But that's another story for another day. All right. That's all for the Did You Know? Just thinking about music and the psychological state is really important. So that's that. Now let's get into what's new and what's used, because we actually have some cool stuff to talk about today. First of all, for what's new, I'm going to do a screen share, let you all see what I'm talking about here, because there's actually some interesting news this week. I don't know why that isn't there. Let's refresh and get this story back up. Well, our Wi-Fi just isn't working, but it seems like everything's working. Shelly's watching too. Very cool. All right, of course, these stories are just not loading. So I'm going to move on to my second story first. There we go. Blink. So Microsoft says its first AI generator delivers excellent photorealism. Now Microsoft has invented their own AI generator. AI is everywhere, guys. I don't know if you've seen these videos that are going around. Everything is AI now. If you see anything, you have to wait. You have to analyze. You have to really understand if this is real or if this is not real, because AI is everywhere these days. So now Microsoft has created their own version of an AI image generator. It's text to image, so you literally just talk to it and it creates this image for you. I'm a little bit scared about it because they are so realistic these days you can't differentiate, but I thought that would be something to talk about, considering it really is about photography and stories. All right, this is a really weird one too. Volvo has LiDAR in their car. Well, quite a few cars these days have LiDAR. But if you watch this little video here, this is a really scary thing. If you aim your camera or your cell phone at the LiDAR in your car, it'll burn your sensor. And you can see on the little graphic that I have sharing, I don't know, you can't see here, Bri, but as soon as you just aim your phone at the front of these cars, all these little stars and spots start showing up on your photo or your video, and the streaks, it's burning your sensor. It's a true laser. It's something to really know about. If you're going to be taking pictures or videos of a car with LiDAR, do not aim your digital sensor at the laser. Something to think about. All right, and that's pretty much it for that. I don't think these other stories are opening for me here. Yeah, basically, I was going to go into the two things that are kind of weird. Like Diane Keaton, for example, she just passed away. I'm going to go away from my screen share here before I finish this story. And I don't know if you know or not, but Diane Keaton was quite an accomplished photographer. And she did a lot of great photos in the 80s, of when she was traveling. She would go from like hotels that were little known hotels, and she would do like a little expose on those hotels while she was traveling. Really interesting work that she did. And she has a couple of books that she's produced. I just thought the fact that she's just passed away would be an interesting time to share that she is also a photographer. And it would be really interesting for you who know Diane Keaton to go back and see her work, because it was actually pretty good photography. All right. Yeah, generator and Volvo's LiDAR will kill your sensor, so don't use it. All right. Now, as far as what's used goes, I've got all that behind me here. We've got some cool stuff this week to show you. Before I go any further, Massachusetts Saturday, back to Vermont, and same but family here, so need to visit. Very good. Yeah, Massachusetts. I thought so. All right, and enjoy your trip. New England is beautiful, especially this time of year. I mean, it's got to be perfect foliage for you right now. All right, what's new and used? We're going to start off with what's used. I've already talked about what's new. What's used, right behind me here. These two guys. This is a Canon T4i. Really underrated camera. It's got the tilt LCD screen. These guys here were all touch. This is when they started putting Wi-Fi in, and video was actually pretty good. This whole DSLR kit right now, T4i with an 18-135 lens, $550. For a full DSLR kit with an 18-135, really decent lens. I mean, this lens alone was $500. So for the whole camera right now to be selling for $549.99, it's a pretty great deal. Used stuff is awesome value, guys. Even like this A6400, it's a pretty new model from Sony. Sony A6400, there you are, with the 16-50 lens. Together, this guy here is selling for $985. It's usually about $1,300, I think, for a 6400 right now. So great value. You get a 90-day warranty. You can add 3 years additional still to it, just like the T4i there. And by the way, I mean, this only has 8,000 photos on it. This one here only has 17,000 photos. These cameras are rated for like 50,000 photos minimum, so you're barely getting a used camera at a really reduced price. The other stuff we have is open box. Now, open box stuff is virtually brand new. We sell it as though it's new. It has the full original warranty. Everything comes with it. Usually has the box and everything with it too. As you can see, we have an Olympus WG90. This thing is usually selling for about $380. $320. Pretty much brand new in a box. This is the blue colored waterproof WG90 Pentax camera. When I say waterproof, like you can swim with this guy. You can go underwater. You can throw it to a friend. It's made to be durable. So for a really good point and shoot for $320, open box, something to think about. And you can still buy warranty on it. Just like this 100-400 Canon RF lens, super telephoto for Canon. Usually this guy is, I believe, about $1,000, not just under $1,000, selling for $810. 10% off its regular price, full warranty. We sell it as though we believe it's new. It's just, it's been opened, maybe sold and returned, but we're selling it as new. 100-400, good value. Or the new Instago 3S, super compact action camera from Insta360, also open box, so it has a full warranty. This guy is selling for $432, $431.50. It's usually a lot more than that. So these are all things that you might want to consider if you're looking for upgrading your kit. I love the fact that we have used stuff here in the store, or open box, because you're getting great values on things that you can buy online for more money. Ours is cheaper, and it's here. So check that stuff out. And that's about it for what's new and used, which is good because we're just about at the time we should start talking about our core content, which is the soundtrack to the shot. I don't know about you guys. Music is so important to me, and I really hope that this kind of resonates. And by the way, next week, the show is going to be a continuation of this theme, and that'll be shooting concerts and shooting low light and shooting in those environments, actual photography for those environments. And for that, I'm bringing in a guest. Just confirmed it earlier today. The guest happens to be watching right now. Mr. Michael Drukarsh is coming in to tell us about his story shooting for Live TO and shooting all the concert stuff that he's been doing. It's going to be really interesting. So check out next week's show too. Don't forget. All right, as I've mentioned, for our core content, I'm splitting this up into pretty much 3 categories. The first will be before the shoot, and then during the shoot, and then afterwards, or editing, what you use music for in those situations. So personally, I feel before the shoot, oh, Steve's watching too, cool. I like this, the way the YouTube is working. I'd love some feedback from you guys watching if you're enjoying the YouTube experience, because I'm really getting, like, the comments are popping up really easy for me to see in YouTube. So this is a really nice flow for me as a producer of the show. So it's really cool. All right, before the shoot, I find music to be a mindset switch. You know what I mean by that? Like, you put on something and it flips your mindset. So I could be in a horrible mood, put on a good song, and next thing you know, I'm excited and I'm happy and I'm doing great. So music for me before a shoot sets me in the mood, and it helps me really kind of get myself straight. So I'm going to give you a personal story. If I go to an event, say I'm traveling to shoot Destiny Wrestling or shoot a wrestling show that's a little further away, a lot of time in the car, I'm getting all anxious, I'm getting all nervous for the shoot. I'll put on something like Tool, 46 and 2, which is kind of like my internal soundtrack for life. And all of a sudden, boom, everything changes. That's become my standard routine. It gets me excited, it gets me amped, it gets me ready for the flow. It gets me thinking about all the things I need to think about in order and putting things in process. So by the time I get to the shoot, I'm ready. I'm all set, I'm good to go. But once I'm at the venue, I'm not looking to get amped. I'm looking to be introspective. I'm looking to pay attention to the room. I'm looking to pay attention to what I'm doing. So I'll flip it. I'll put on some Mozart, or I'll put on some Emancipator. My little brother Richard got me into Emancipator. It's this really cool, chill, constant vibe of song that just keeps you tuned in without having to pay attention to it. You know what I mean? It's just this nice rhythm going in the background. So music like that helps me show up to a venue and start to see. My eyes are a little more open. I'm kind of tuning myself away from people talking to me. No offense to the people, but I'm not there for the people to talk to me. I'm there to shoot an event. I'm there to do it professionally and capture everything I can. So I'm paying attention to the exits. I'm paying attention to where the people are. I'm paying attention to where people are coming in. Where's the action going to be? What's the background's going to look like? Can I shoot from this perspective, or should I shoot from this perspective? And if I just have some earbuds in or my headphones on and I'm just wandering around doing my own thing, I'm focusing. I got my little notepad out. I'm taking notes that I'll never look at again, because that's kind of how I go. I take a lot of notes, but I rarely look at them. And, it just goes through that whole process of getting myself prepared. The music has a lot to do with that for me. And now I realize this isn't for everybody. We talked with Brian a few seconds ago. He says he's not a big fan of having the music going. But are you seeing the parallels that I'm drawing, and how music can influence or change your mindset and mood? It's different for everybody, and of course the music choices are different for everybody too. You've got to find what works for you. Well, yeah, I mean, you cry to music. Music is going to tug at your emotions and your heartstring in so many ways that you don't think about until it's on. And then you're just like, holy crap, what's going on? Like, this music is influencing me. So I truly believe that as a photographer or a creator in general, you can use music to help you get in a better place or shoot differently or all these different things. Now, of course, if I'm shooting, like last night, for example, I photographed a hockey team. Music wasn't part of that equation. It was kind of hectic. It felt a little bit rushed at times, but I was with a great partner and she was really helping coordinate things. So the music for me in that environment was the people around me, the chatter around me, which kind of turned into a rhythm. So that helped me a little bit, but without music, I'm a little bit distracted sometimes. So here's a little suggestion for all of you folks who want to hone in on the music end of your photography. Create a pre-shot playlist or pre-shoot playlist. Create maybe 3 or 4 songs that you can get into that whole moment before you get there. And see if that influences your mood when you're shooting. See if that improves your overall experience shooting an event. If you feel a little bit nervous about a shoot coming up, put on 3 songs that really kind of ground you, make you feel a little bit more comfortable with your day-to-day, and those songs will then, guide you into that shoot a little bit more comfortably. You might enjoy yourself a bit more. You have a thought?
I'm hearing that music distracts you from the tension.
Music isolates me.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
All that away, puts it here.
Yeah. It takes all of the confusion away. It takes all of the distractions away. And it kind of helps me be me and think of me. I don't know about everybody, but I am easily distracted, extremely easily distracted. ADD, I've got a little bit of all kinds of stuff going on in my brain. And, I've seen that as an asset in some ways, but it's also a distraction. And if I'm sitting trying to edit, and that's what I'm going to get to in a minute, if I don't have something to focus me in, I'm doing 12 things and none of them are what I need to do. By putting on that music, it's like putting on blinders sometimes, and it helps me really focus. So let's see if anybody else has anything to say. Yes, Michael Drukarsh will be live and in studio. Music puts me in the zone, especially during editing. Hi, Steve. Ann says hi, Steve. Yeah, absolutely, especially during editing. But during a shoot, music as a live tool. For portrait sessions, playing music on the sets is an emotional temperature. It changes the mood of the room. I remember speaking with Peter McKinnon back when I had my TV show. I did an interview with him. And he says what he likes to do when he has a new couple in or something for a portrait shoot is you'll have a glass of wine and put on some nice music and talk to them for a little while and just get to know who the people are. And the music is that icebreaker. The music is the thing that helps people connect to each other. Like if you and I both like the same song, we both play that song, next thing you know, we're in a better mental state. We're enjoying ourselves a little bit more, right? So as a introduction, using music in that environment is a huge asset. So it's a tool. It's an actual tool for you. Play some upbeat music and you'll have some relaxed subjects with natural expressions. You play something cinematic, you might end up with something moody, some dramatic posing, right? You get into a different feeling. For sports or wrestling, sometimes arena music will dictate my shooting rhythm. Now what I mean by that is, for example, my wife, Shelly, does the sound for Barry Wrestling. Barry Wrestling's all starting, people are milling around, getting ready. The guys on the announcing thing, all right, everybody, 5 minutes, we're gonna get ready, everybody get to your seats, kind of thing. And all of a sudden, Shelly puts on Thunderstruck. Boom, boom. And everybody just starts getting into it. And I start getting into it. And the chills go up the back of my neck, and I start pounding on the mat when it's boom, boom. And next thing you know, I'm ready to shoot. I'm in the zone, I'm good to go. A song at the right time sets everything straight. So I absolutely love when Shelly does the sound because she gets me amped. I love it, it's great. And of course the crowd's getting excited, right? The crowd gets into it too. I'm getting action shots of the crowd because they're into it. They're, getting all excited with their one tooth or whatever. This is a beautiful thing. You get the motion, you get so much great passion from a crowd when you have that music playing. I love it, I love it. All right, a little pro tip for you. If you're ever in a situation where you feel the mood is just a little bit of a bummer or something like that, get a little Bluetooth speaker, play some songs from your phone, and you'll see instantly everything changes. So the right song in that moment changes the vibe, turns it into magic, and I highly recommend people start thinking about music during their shoots. Yes, Brian?
Admit you like the music.
Admit you like the music?
Yeah, admit that it doesn't make you a sissy to like the music to get you centered. This is just...
Admit that it doesn't make you a sissy?
Yeah, voice number 4.
Yeah, I mean, never be ashamed of the music you like. Just music is great. And if it connects to you, whether you feel a way about it or not, play it. If somebody else hears something that they don't know about, I mean, maybe you haven't heard the B-52s before, and I put on Rock Lobster, next thing you know, we're all dancing around and being silly, right? You may or may not like the song, but when that's going in the background, it changes the vibe for sure. Let's see here. Debbie says she hates when I'm cleaning the house because the music is on and loud. You know what? You just hit the nail on the head. I didn't even put that comparison together. Cleaning your house is much better with music. Anything is better with music. And if you're in a situation where you're not necessarily stressed, but trying to focus and trying to get things done in a certain way, having a certain soundtrack on helps. I don't know if you guys are like me, but in the morning, every morning, I have 3 songs that I listen to in order, in a very specific order. I know how long they are. I know how much time it's going to take to get from the first song to the second song to the third song. And by the time the third song is over, I'm dressed, I'm ready for work, and I'm ready to go. I feel great. If I don't have those 3 songs in the morning, life is different. Life is different for sure. All right, let's see here. My neighbors hate when I'm cleaning my house because my music is on and loud, Drew Carr says. Music is the soundtrack to life, guys. Absolutely. Start taking advantage of that. Start rolling that into what you do photography-wise. It changes things, right? All right, so we've talked about before you shoot, getting yourself in the right mindset, ready for the event you're shooting. If I'm going down to Toronto to shoot the Christmas parade, and I've only done it once, but if I were ever offered that job again and I were going to shoot a Christmas parade, I'd be driving to Toronto listening to Christmas music, getting myself excited for that, right? If I'm going to shoot a wrestling event, I'm listening to Tool because wrestling is about anger and beating people up and stuff like that, and kind of Tool falls into that. If I'm doing something in Newmarket on Canada Day, I'm listening to, I don't know, Canadiana, I'm listening to the Tragically Hip or something like that, getting myself into that vibe. So music can have a lot to do with the pre-production or the pre-shooting, the during the shooting, and then in post-production, which is what I'm going to talk about now, use music as editing fuel. I always have music on when I'm editing. Like I said before, if I don't, I'll sit down to edit, and next thing you know, I am on my phone, I'm talking to Shelly, I'm hanging out in my window, I'm playing with the cat, I'm doing anything else but what I'm supposed to be doing. So put on some headphones and focus. Tune in. Makes a big difference. So here's my editing ritual. Headphones on so I don't bother Shelly or anybody else in the house, like my mother-in-law in the basement, because, you know, walls and floors are very thin, and music travels. I've got some Tool on, usually. Tool is my natural rhythm, like legit my natural rhythm. I can listen to the song Numa, and at every point where it hits in the song, I am doing something in that rhythm. It just so happens to work that way. It's very weird. If I'm doing something like thoughtful retouching or it's taking me a really long time, I'll probably put on Mozart. Mozart to me is my chill vibe, right? It could be the Requiem Mass, which is, you know, the story of his own death, which is crazy. It could be violin songs, I don't know what the right word is, the violin special CD that I have with just Mozart violin music, which is very light and airy and happy. But whatever I'm feeling, whatever feels right, I'm up to it. I put songs on random sometimes and hear trance music that gets me involved in editing or something like that. But it's important to find that rhythm, that song, that soundtrack, for me at least, that will keep me going and keep me at it, or else I end up taking 2 weeks to edit something that should have taken me 2 days. Different playlists will also produce different looks to my editing. I know this sounds weird, but if I'm listening to something very bright and airy, generally my edits tend to be a little bit happier looking. If I'm listening to something, or if I'm trying to edit very dark and moody, I'll listen to dark and moody, and that'll help me be in that mindset to create the look the way I want to create it. So it's not only easy or not easy, or you're not only listening to certain songs or whatever, you're literally thinking about what am I editing and what song is the soundtrack to that edit. And sometimes that brings out more interesting edits, at least in my world. So now I'm at the point where I need to bring in my buddy Juan, because Juan and I were talking earlier, and he has a real connection to music and editing as well. So I just wanted to bring you in for a quick second. You all remember Juan. He was on our show a little while ago, the wonderful show that we did.
Again.
It's you.
How's everyone doing? Thanks for having me, Brian.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Thanks for being here again. You know, you're getting paid to be here, so why not have you on the show?
Please.
Sure. We were talking about music and how it helps my editing. How do you use music when you edit?
Yeah, so I use music.
Oh, hang on. Nobody can hear you. I don't have the other mic here.
Okay, we'll share this one.
Yeah.
So yeah, we were having this conversation earlier, and I was saying when it comes time to edit, I'll actually put music that suits the mood at the time when I was shooting. So let's say if I was shooting like a sports action shoot, then the music will be like EDM, a little bit of techno, to kind of put me back in the mood, so that if I'm applying colors, if I'm applying crops, it's going to reflect that mood. But if the mood was me, you know, shooting some landscape photos, you know, maybe the fall colors, then I'll put some music that kind of it's a little bit more soft, more gentle, to kind of put me back in the mood. And I think that ends up being reflected in the photos and the results, like the exports.
like playlists that you work with?
Like lo-fi is kind of in the middle because it's a little bit fast, but it's also a little bit more calm.
Lo-fi.
Lo-fi, you know lo-fi?
I'm old. I don't know what that means.
Lo-fi is just like beats, instrumental,
Okay.
but it's all like digital. Like there's no real instruments. It's just kind of made digitally.
It's kind of like Emancipator, probably. That kind of what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I don't
might
know.
not know that.
I don't know what that is.
Sorry.
But yeah, if people have heard of lo-fi, I mean, I would recommend it as well
check
because
it.
it's not distracting. I don't want music where I have to pay attention to the lyrics.
You don't want to think about that. You're thinking about something else. You just want to be.
Yeah, like focus on the actual act of
Yeah.
editing. Yeah, I was even joking. Like I was saying earlier, if I start to edit photos and it starts to get annoying, or if I'm not liking the process that I'm working on, and I'm playing music in the background, I feel like the music ends up being distracting at that point. So I'll turn it off, walk away for a little bit, come back without any music, and continue my editing.
Cool. So sometimes music doesn't help. It hurts.
Yeah, it could do the opposite. Almost like you turn down the radio in your car when you're reversing.
Yeah.
Because you think the radio is
I
like
can't see.
associated.
Turn the radio down.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So.
Awesome.
So yeah, that's a little bit of my process.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thanks, man. Appreciate
no
it.
problem.
And it's different for everybody, right? Hang on one second. Magnet. There we go. Cool. Yeah, it's different for everybody because we all have our own process, and we're all unique. And I think just like photography is unique for you, so is your music choice, or whether or not you want music. Brian doesn't really need the music when he's doing his thing. I do. Juan uses it occasionally, obviously. It depends on what you want to do. But I think the point of a show like this is to give you an idea that you might not have even thought about before. Who would have thought that a whole show on associating a song or a music choice with your process would be a thing? It took me a minute to click with the concept, but I had the idea and I thought, I've got to roll this in because, with my car going out for the music system put in and stuff today, I just thought it was a really neat tie-in. All right. Now, the last thing I want to get into before we get to the end of the show is music as an archive marker. Now, this is a little bit different concept. Kind of goes along with what Juan was just saying. When you're shooting something, you're thinking of the music for what you're shooting, and then you're listening to that when you're editing it. I've shot for decades now. I've been shooting for a while. Maybe not more than 3 decades, not as much as Brian has. But, I've been shooting for about 20 years. And many of my sessions are tied into my memory, but also kind of latched onto specific albums or specific songs. So if I've shot something, 5 years ago, and at that time I was thinking about putting a note in my Lightroom catalog saying, I was listening to this song when I was shooting this event. 5 years later, I'll go back into that event and I'll see this is the song I was listening to, and I can relive that moment. I can relive the feeling of where I was. So the point is this. The point is if you tag on your Lightroom collections or folders with a soundtrack of what you were doing, down the road, you might be bringing back different emotions and different feelings to your edits or to your re-edits or anything else that you do with those images down the road. So actually archiving your data with a musical tag can help you bring a different feeling to that album down the road. Interesting concept. Do it or not, we'll see how it goes. All right, guys, I've got a small challenge for you here. It's already 5:34, so I'm a little bit late, but the soundtrack project is what I'm getting at here. Here's a goal for you. Shooting intentionally, making images based on a specific song. Maybe what you can do is create a playlist to your next batch of photos. Make some photos, think that you're having a great time making images, and think what playlist would really go well with this. And maybe let us know how that works out for you. Maybe share that with the photo challenge review that we do, not next week, but the week after, when we're reviewing the photo challenge for October Rust, which is the current challenge, by the way.
October Rust.
October Rust.
I got 4 guys in here already.
He's got 4 guys in his brain already telling him what to shoot for that. So don't forget that. That's true. The current photo challenge is October Rust. I really hope that you all are enjoying that challenge. Of course, we're going to do an inspiration show, not this coming week, but the week after. But yeah, pick a song. Build a shoot entirely around it. Let that song guide your subject, location, your editing, everything. If you can think of a specific song that you really love, base a whole shoot around it. See what happens. Oh, I just triggered something in Brian.
I've been listening to a song called Rust and Wine.
Rust and Wine? There you go. So he's been listening to a song called Rust and Wine. He is now thinking, how can I roll that Rust and Wine into October Rust? Cool. I was shooting this hockey thing last night, and one of the jerseys, the person's last name was Rust. So I thought that would be kind of a cool way to, who knows, October Rust, a picture of a hockey player. I need to get her permission. I probably won't end up doing that, but whatever. All right, guys, don't forget, it's not about literal interpretations. It's just like what Brian he has a song that he's already been listening to, has Rust in it. Use that. Creativity is not judged by me. Like, I'm not going to be upset if you do something abstract and different. I would be more encouraged. I'd be more happy if you were able to do stuff like that. So have fun with it. Have a lot of good time with it, and hope I get to see what you guys are doing. I'm going to give you a few examples. 46 and 2, Bold Lighting, Tension, Grit. Englishman in New York, an old Sting song. Street Candids, Classy Monochrome, Smooth Lines. Or something like Ziggy Stardust, the challenge that we gave a little while ago. A glam portrait session with heavy color work or a lot of makeup. So think of a song, think of how it can be perceived in a photo, and have fun with it. All right, guys. The closing segment today. As I mentioned, with the new car audio system being installed in Casper, I'll be hearing a lot more songs, but I'll be hearing more in my songs. It'll almost be like I'm listening to songs for the first time again, in many cases. They'll sound so good. So think of it like photography. Tie that into your photography. Sometimes we're chasing new lenses, new cameras, new gimmicks, toys that can improve our photography. But maybe what we really need to do is listen differently. Music can unlock how you see. So maybe put on a good soundtrack instead of buying new gear, and see if that influences how you shoot differently. Opens up a whole new way of composing, opens up a whole new way of thinking. It could be a lot of fun. All right, that's about it for me. I'm going to share my closing things as always I like to do. First of all, let me do a quick screen share here. One more time. And says, thank you and see you soon, home Canada. Yeah, see you soon, Ann. All right, so here we go. First of all, news. You all know Juan very well now. Juan is actually a Nikon ambassador, which you may not have known. And because he's a Nikon ambassador, he's actually leading the Nikon photo walk in Toronto. It just so happens that our Nikon rep is here. Daniel? He doesn't want to come over. It's all good. He's Nikon, great photographer. He can't hear at all. So maybe he's not the guy for the music. But the Nikon photo walk is coming up. Just give me, it's called the Autumn Photo Walk, October 17th, 2015. Juan is leading this walk. It's in Toronto's waterfront, starting at Trillium Park at 5, and then wander through Coronation Park, Ireland Park, Toronto Music Garden, and end up at HTO Park. So it should be a lot of fun. I tried calling you over. This is Daniel. He's our Nikon rep.
Hello, everybody.
Just happens to be here talking about a new camera. Speaking of what's new, what is this?
This is the ZR.
Oh, hang on.
Brand new.
ZR.
Oh, yes, this is the ZR. Brand new cinema camera from Nikon. It's coming out on the 20th of this month, so in a few days. We're really excited about it. I've actually been shooting with it for the last few weeks. Great footage out of it. I'm really enjoying the camera.
You doing all photo or video?
Just all video. Been shooting
video.
all in Red RAW exclusively on
Okay.
this. Yeah.
Very
The
cool.
R3D NE codec. It's great.
So the ZR, for those of you who don't know, is Z. It's called ZR because it's red.
Yes.
Red technology.
Yeah, I don't know if you'll be able to see it on camera, but on the back of the camera it actually says Nikon Red on here. And one of the great things about this particular camera, as I just said, is the fact that you can shoot in red R3D NE. The NE stands for Nikon X Speed because it's coming through our processor, but you're shooting in Red's color science, their log profile, their log gamma curve, so you can color grade using that as well. So it's a great camera for someone wanting to learn the Red workflow, but also for someone who already owns a Red and wants a B cam or C cam. So it kind of works for both demographics of people.
Cool. We were just talking about the photo walk that Juan is leading.
Oh, okay.
Are you going to be on that walk?
I won't be.
No?
No, I won't be at that one.
It's all right. Well, I mean, it's Nikon, and you're Nikon,
Yeah.
so I'm sure
there'll be probably other people from Nikon there, but unfortunately I won't be. Yeah.
All right. Thanks, man.
Yeah, of course.
Appreciate you coming on to talk
course.
for a sec. Thank you. All right, so that's the first thing I wanted to mention. Now, as always, Henry's is running our own workshops if you want to know what we're doing here, go to the Henry's webpage, check out Henry's New Market, and right down here you have all of the workshops we have coming up. Manual mode is this Sunday. I'm running that one myself. It's the first workshop I'm going to do in this latest group of workshops. So if anybody wants to come for the manual mode, send a registration request into us. We're doing product photography the week after. I'm doing another light painting in-store workshop, which is going to be a lot of fun on November 8th. And then hands-on at Fairy Lake, outdoor light painting. Some might call this a fire on ice workshop. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, if you remember my day tripper sessions. So if you know what I mean by that, register now, because last I checked it was already full. If it is full, send an email to newmarket@henrys.com and just tell us you want to come. There's always room. All right. And of course, the holidays are coming, and we have the holidays in the bag at Henry's. So check out Henry's website for the 2025 holiday gift guide. And also, coming soon, as you can see here, there's going to be a whole video from Henry's talking about the greatest cameras of 2025. I just happen to have been interviewed for that, so that should be a lot of fun. Keep your eyes open for that. All right, guys, that's about it for me. If anybody has anything they'd like to say before I say goodbye, please do so now. Debbie says, have a great week, everybody. I agree. I hope everybody does have a great week. Let's make this screen a little bit bigger so I can say goodbye to you all very nice. All right, that's it. Thanks, everybody, for watching this week. I will see you all next time. Have a great week.